quiet town of Oakhaven, where the trees whisper secrets and the fog clings to the ground like a cold blanket, lived a boy named Everett. Everett was like any other boy, except for one thing: he felt he was the unluckiest person alive. While the other children played with glowing gadgets and expensive drones, Everett sat on his porch, holding a worn-out wooden train his grandfather had carved years ago. Everett's mother asked him to take out the trash. The alleyway behind their house was a place Everett usually avoided. As he dropped the bag, a flicker of movement caught his eye. A shadow, tall, thin, and jagged, stretched across the brick wall. But there was no one standing there to cast it. Everett froze. From the swirling mist of the alley, a figure emerged. He was impossibly tall, draped in a coat that seemed to be stitched together from the night sky itself, where his face should have been. There was only a void, a swirling vortex of black smoke with two glowing violet embers for eyes. This was the Shadow Merchant. He didn't speak with a mouth. His voice echoed directly inside Everett's mind, like the grinding of old stones. He told Everett he was a collector of things people didn't need. In exchange, he gave people exactly what they desired. The merchant reached into his coat and pulled out a whistle. It wasn't made of silver or tin. It was crafted from pure, solid sunlight. It glowed so brightly that the dark alley felt like high noon. The merchant explained that this whistle was no ordinary toy. One blow and any material wish would come true. A new bike, a mountain of gold, a kingdom of toys. It was all possible. But the merchant didn't want money. He wanted something Everett used every day but didn't value. He wanted Everett's laughter. What use is a laugh? Everett thought. I don't laugh much anyway. But with that whistle, I could be the happiest kid on earth. Without a second thought, Everett reached out. As his fingers brushed the merchant's cold, misty hand, Everett clutched the whistle and ran home. He blew it softly. Suddenly, his room transformed. His old wooden train turned into a futuristic robot. His bed became a fortress of silk. The next day at school, Everett was the center of attention. He blew the whistle, and piles of rare trading cards appeared. He blew it again, and a feast of the finest candies covered the cafeteria tables. He was famous. He was rich. He was the king of Oakhaven. But then, something happened. His best friend, Leo, told the funniest joke Everett had ever heard. Everyone was roaring with laughter. Everett felt the tickle in his chest. He felt the urge to burst out. He opened his mouth to join them, but nothing came out. No sound, no joy, just a hollow, empty silence. The world hadn't changed, but Everett's connection to it was gone. Days turned into weeks. Everett's house was filled with gold, but it felt like a tomb. His mother would tell him stories, her eyes searching his for a spark of the boy he used to be. But Everett just stared back, his face a mask of stone. One night, under a pale moon, Everett looked in the mirror. He gasped, or tried to. His reflection was there, but his shadow on the wall was doing something terrifying. While Everett stood perfectly still, his shadow was dancing. It was throwing its head back, shaking with silent, rhythmic laughter. The Shadow Merchant hadn't just taken his laugh. He had given it to Everett's own shadow. The shadow was becoming more real, more solid, while Everett felt himself becoming thin and ghostly. He realized the merchant's trap. Soon, the shadow would step off the wall and take his place in the world, and Everett would be nothing more than a silent stain on the floor. Panic, cold and sharp, finally broke through his apathy. He grabbed the golden whistle. It felt heavy now, like a lead weight. He realized that all the gold in the world couldn't fill the hole where his joy used to be. Everett ran. He ran back to the damp alleyway, his lungs burning. He screamed into the darkness, though no sound came out. He threw the golden whistle onto the ground, but it didn't break. It just glowed mockingly. The shadow merchant appeared once more, leaning against the bricks. He told Everett that a bargain could not be undone. The laughter was gone, settled deep within the merchant's collection. But Everett remembered something his grandfather had told him while carving that old wooden train. True joy isn't in the toy, Everett. It's in the heart of the boy who plays with it. Everett looked at the whistle. He didn't want the gold. He didn't want the drones. He realized he loved his old, quiet life more than this shiny, silent prison. With a surge of will, he didn't try to laugh. He tried to feel. He thought of his mother's hug, the smell of the rain, and the simple clack-clack of his wooden train. He picked up a heavy stone and smashed the golden whistle with every ounce of his strength. The whistle shattered into a million sparks of light. The sparks didn't fall. They flew toward Everett, entering his chest like a swarm of warm bees. The shadow merchant let out a hiss of pure shadow and evaporated into the night air. Everett fell to his knees. He took a deep breath, and for the first time in weeks, he let out a sound. It was a small, shaky chuckle at first, then a giggle, then a full, booming laugh that echoed off the alley walls and rose into the starry sky. Everett walked home that night with empty pockets and an old wooden train in his hand. He was the poorest kid in Oak Haven again. But as he stepped into the light of his kitchen and saw his mother, he gave her a smile so bright it could have lit up the entire town. Because Everett finally understood some things are too precious to trade, and a soul that can laugh is the greatest treasure of all. The shadows are always looking for a bargain, friends. But remember, your light is not for sale. Sleep well if you can. This was Phantomo. Hit subscribe for more curious videos.